Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to be taking a look at how to write an awesome compare and contrast essay. The first thing we want to look at is our do what chart. We want to think about what the prompt is asking us to do. And the first thing the prompt says, well, first let's read the prompt. Both the grandfather and his little grandson, both the grandfather and his little grandson and the wise old woman contain a theme about respecting and valuing the elderly. Compare and contrast how the authors convey the theme of each text. Cite evidence from both texts to support your response. Now, I can tell you that there were a few academic verbs that I had to add to this prompt. I had to think about what the prompt was asking me to do. The first thing I had to do was what? I got to read the text, or I won't be able to do this activity, correct? So I had to add that academic language. I have to read. What do I have to read? Both the old grandfather and his little grandson and the wise old woman. I have to read both those texts. The second thing I have to do is what? Analyze. That is another part of the academic language, the academic doing words, those academic verbs that I had to add because it didn't say that. But I know that if I have to look at the theme about respecting and valuing the elderly, I can't just look at it. I can't just read those words. I have to analyze what that means and how that is used in the text. Next, straight from the prompt, compare and contrast. What am I comparing and contrasting? I'm comparing and contrasting how the author conveys the theme of each text, how the authors convey the theme of each text. While I'm doing that, I have to cite, what do I have to cite? Evidence from both texts to support my response. And finally, that prompt has a little extra to it. You're not going to see that in most prompts, but I added that because I think it's important. You have to remember, what do I have to remember? That this essay is not about theme, but how the author helps you understand the theme. It's not asking you to tell me the theme of the story. Why is it not asking you to tell the theme of the story? It already gives you the theme. I gave you the theme already. I'm asking you to explain to me how the author helps you understand that theme. Okay? How they convey it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at an essay that has been written to answer that prompt. You're going to find that a lot of this information directly aligns with what we did when we were going through the model of the compare and contrast chart, because that chart was used to write this essay. Okay. Sweetie, can you turn the lights off for me? All right. I want to make sure everybody can see this. Now that we've done the do what charts, go ahead and close your Chromebooks because I want your 100% of your attention to be on the lesson. Okay, so the first thing in this essay that you're going to see is a hook. A hook is the thing that an author gives to kind of grab the reader's attention, something to spark their interest in the story. Okay? The hook for this essay, this introduction paragraph, says, princesses belong in castles. They are beautiful, obedient, and need saving by a prince. Or are they? So do you see how the hook grabs your attention and makes you think, I wonder what this is going to be about? That's what we want, okay? You want to hook your reader and help them want to keep reading. That's what the hook is for. You'll notice that this paragraph is also color-coded. So the red section is going to be the what? The thesis statement. The thesis statement. A thesis statement is the overall idea that the author wants you to understand by reading that text. So if you are the author, your thesis statement is your feeling or opinion that you want people to take away from your essay. Okay? The stories Young Ladies Don't Slay Dragons by Joyce Havelstrud and The Paper Bag Princess by Robert Munsch do not follow this rule for fairy tales. Both stories convey the theme that you should be yourself because you do not have to be what other people think you should be. There are similarities and differences in the way the authors convey their theme. Okay? You're answering the question, well, what is the theme and how is the author conveying it? Well, they're conveying it with in similar ways and different ways. All right. And then you give a brief summary of your two topic sentences. Your two topic sentences are where you tell what you feel is the way that the author is doing the conveying of the theme. Okay? Ways that they are similar and ways that they are different. All right? In both stories, the main characters are strong, independent princesses, yet the solution to the conflicts in both stories are different. There's your answer. All right? Let's keep going. Now we've moved on. That was the introduction paragraph where you're introducing your topic and you're telling the reader the two main things you're going to be discussing. Let me go back. Those two main things are that the characters are both strong, independent princesses. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that the author solves the conflicts in both stories in different ways. Okay? Are you understanding that part? So in your body, you should address those two things. So far, how many paragraphs is this essay? One introduction paragraph. Okay, so this is the introduction paragraph planning document, and you're going to use this to plan your introduction paragraph. So you're going to use the information from your compare and contrast chart for the old woman and the old grandfather and the old wise woman stories. So let's take a look. So the things that you're going to need, and I'm going to actually have this in Schoology. You're going to need to have the three parts. So all I want you to do is write your hook in this space, your thesis statement in this space, and your brief summary of your topic sentences in this space. Now, all of these should be complete sentences with correct capitalization, punctuation, spelling, and grammar. When you're done, you'll be able to put all of those things together into your introductory paragraph in this space. And that's it. Thank you. And then there's this section, which really should be broken into probably two paragraphs. Hold on, wait. There we go. So this is the first paragraph. That's the second paragraph. So I'm looking for an introduction. How many body paragraphs? 2. So here's the first one. In both Young Ladies Don't Slay Dragons and The Paper Bag Princess, the authors present the princesses as strong, independent characters who are untraditional versions of princesses. That's the topic sentence, which means in this body paragraph, I had to explain to you how the authors present those princesses as being strong and independent and untraditional. They're not Cinderella type princesses where they're looking to get pretty and waiting for a prince or somebody to come and save them. They save themselves, right? And that's not traditional. Then you want to elaborate. You want to further explain what you mean. In Young Ladies Don't Slay Dragons, the author uses interactions between the princesses and the prince to convey the theme. And then, what's that yellow part? Yeah. I want to see examples, evidence, quotes. For example, the princess says, I wouldn't be happy just being a queen and doing queen things. Have you noticed that all of this information is directly exactly what we wrote in our compare and contrast comparison chart? That's why we did it. That's your organizer. That's where you organize your thoughts. This quote demonstrates that she wants to be able to do other things than being a queen because she would be unhappy being a typical queen. She explains. That's where you explain the evidence that you chose. Do you see how it's very much structured like the information that you've already gathered? Guys, stop zipping. Thank you. I'm sorry, where was I? Oh, similarly, okay, so that covered Young Ladies Don't Slay Dragons. Now I'm going to talk about what? Paper Bag Princess. Similarly, in the Paper Bag Princess, the authors use interactions between the prince and princess to convey the theme. This is demonstrated when the princess says, Ronald, you look like a prince, but you are a bum. And this quote shows how she is willing to stand on her own and does not need to fit into the role the prince expects her to. Okay? Do you see how it tied everything together? It covers both texts and it shows how they are similar in this paragraph. The next paragraph is going to show the differences. All right.